I'm an attorney at Bousquet Holstein. My practice areas are mostly litigation, business, commercial.
My area of law is corporate law, more transactional than litigation, which is what most people think of. As I tell people in my office, if I'm not humming or listening to music, you probably don't want to talk to me. I'm in a bad mood.
I mostly do employment-based immigration. I kind of feel like I have two jobs, honestly. One I get paid for and one I don't. I have a degree in piano. I did my undergrad in piano performance. So, I was taking it pretty seriously for a while.
Played French horn in the middle school band, and then picked up guitar after that, and that's been my primary instrument since then.
What I will say is when I decided to go to law school, interestingly enough, my uncle, because I've come from a long line of violinists, was very disappointed I was going to go into law and not to music. And he said, well, if you ever want to go back to an honest living of music, we can talk again. And he went a few years without talking to me because I left music. So, hardcore family.
I mean, I've music has always been a part of my life, really. It turns out it goes back in my family with a relative on my mother's side playing on a riverboat in a blues band. Probably easily over 100 years ago.
I think the reason I chose law was to me it's easier.
I mean, music's been a big part of my life. Being a musician is much harder than being a lawyer.
If you were to ask most lawyers at any law firm, I'd say probably at least a third are musicians.
I know at our firm we have a lot of musicians. We have a band.
Improvisation in particular, when it comes to an instrument or to playing music, seems to be particularly useful to litigators, to attorneys, sure, because you often have to, you're balancing a lot of things at once, you're juggling a lot of things, you're thinking about things as circumstances are changing in real time. And that's essentially what improvising is.
So what I found was the best lawyers were musicians, artists, poets, people who had something other than.
The reason I started getting into music again is like my job was such a stressful, there's just like so much stress involved with the job that like when I go home and write or listen to music, it just is a way to relieve that stress.
It's always been an outlet for me, a way to kind of recharge and reset, just kind of get my head together when things are crazy.
Going to the symphony is like a pretty healthy way to relieve stress.
Yeah, I think having the orchestra as an outlet, if nothing else, has been fantastic.
And now I'm going to go all timey on you. In this day and age, everyone listens to music on headphones. Well, music was and still is a communal experience. The glue that holds us together is music.
It's intellectually stimulating while also being a break. You're sitting, you're in the audience, you're not on, and you just get to listen. And it's a minute to kind of recharge and reset. But what the music is doing to your brain, if you're listening actively, right, is there's all kinds of things happening. And you find, at least I find myself, thinking about all kinds of other things. And it's you kind of float off into a little bit of that creative space yourself sometimes.
Like if your only option in Syracuse, New York is watching Netflix or going to Dinosaur Barbecue, like this city would not survive. Like people wouldn't want to live here. It's not only entertaining, it's like, it gets people to go out. It gets people to like engage with each other. All those like local businesses benefit from having people drive down for 3 hours and get parking and like go out and spend a night in the city versus, I don't know, like sitting at their house and ordering something from Amazon and watching it. Like that's just.
Ooh.
Sheesh.
Art is part of the human experience. It's essential. It is what makes us human, and so if we lose touch with the arts, we start to lose touch with ourselves. And I do believe that. So I think it is a very, very important element of any community. It brings people together.
Be my guest and let me share music with you. Because what better thing is there to do than share music with people?
And seeing as this is being recorded, if you haven't been out to see the Syracuse Orchestra, come on out.